Oh, hey, what? It's crazy to see you here. Well, today was a pretty cool day. Actually, yesterday was the cool day, but today is the result of the yesterday cool day, which is that my rear delts are incredibly sore as a result of some really hard climbing. Climbing, like, honestly, it's just my favorite thing in the world, and I want to build a life where I can climb as much as physically possible because it's just so fun. And I mean, hopefully, I am moving in the direction of building a life where I have the freedom and flexibility and finances and all the F's to be able to do that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like when you like after a hard workout, you wake up the next day and you feel sore in the muscles that you worked, and it's like soreness isn't necessarily an indicator of like that you did a good workout or didn't, but it does tell you that you worked hard, probably. And at least, right now, my rear delts are so like whatever the back of the shoulder thing, Bob, is they're so incredibly sore because in climbing, a lot of the time you're like having to pull like right into the wall to hold yourself, and yeah. So, geez, I don't know if this wind is gonna be so good for the microphone, but can you even hear? I should probably go somewhere more protected. But yeah, so I just like woke up and was freaking hyped because of that. And I think I'm gonna go climbing again tomorrow. And then I have my surgery on Tuesday, so we'll not be doing much for a couple weeks after that. Last night I did a bunch of shopping to get prepared, I guess. I bought like a bunch of bone broth and soups and things that I can eat without having to swallow more than liquids. Also like popsicles and ice cream and stuff like that because like I hear that it hurts a lot to swallow when you get your tonsils taken out because they like cut them. I think the surgery only takes like 10 minutes, but they cut out your tonsils and then take like a hot piece of metal and I don't know what that's called, but like they like burn the fucking skin to make it scab up so that it's not bleeding. So that's a little freaky, but I'm excited to like have it done and to move on with my life and stop thinking about it and just exist because existing is quite cool. But yeah, I don't know. I just like back to the climbing thing. When I go climbing, I feel like I'm a kid. Like I feel like I'm thinking about nothing else in the world except for climbing a freaking wall, like holding on to some holds or some rock or whatever it is, and just getting to play. And I really like doing that. And I feel like as a now 24-year-old guy, a man, I think that's something a lot of people start to lose is just like the goofiness, like childlikeness. And maybe that's something that will kind of shift as I get older, but at this point it's like I still feel the same. It feels like, at least from my memory, I feel the same as I did when I was like 7 years old going to the climbing gym. And that I was just so excited to go to a place where I could go and climb anything that I wanted and not be told, hey, get off of that. Don't climb that. Because, like, that's, as a kid, it's like, you want to go climb on the side of the play structure or whatever, or at least I did, and go climb up some wall you see or over a fence. But then you're told, like, no, don't do that. You're not allowed. And then, that's my imitation of the adult telling you not to do things because they're dangerous. But you go to the climbing gym and you can just be free. And I love that so freaking much. So, yeah. So how am I going to get to a lifestyle where I don't have to sacrifice time exercising and going climbing because those are things that I would love to do for my whole life? Well, that's the big question, and I think that's something that I'm going to be solving over the next years and probably the duration of my life. But you can only move so, or like you can only think so many steps ahead before it's just like, yes, it's good to have a plan of like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to be doing in the future and this is how I'm going to get there. But at the same time, if I were to plan out exactly all of the things that are going to happen, all that has to happen is one of those things goes wrong, or like some external circumstance changes something, and then all the plans are thrown on their head. Flipped on their head? Yeah. So I think it's best to live every day with intention, but also still be able to be adaptable. Yeah. But like the place I'm in, I think the biggest jump is going to be going from $0 of income to, I don't know, let's say $2,000 of income. That's like very small, right? Compared to like what I would ultimately want to have. But with $2,000, it's like I could see myself living very affordably, and like, spending what, $500 a month on food, and yeah, even that, it's like hard to see how that would be sustainable unless I was living in Bali, which like I do want to do, but I don't want to do that out of necessity, because then it would be more affordable. Anyways, what? Yeah. I think up next, I'm really hoping to go to live in the same town as Kai and Bella in Bend, Oregon, because I spent a little bit of time there visiting them, and it's a really nice place, like a really nice town, and I also, there's a climbing gym that I happen to really enjoy. But I just feel like, I love Hawaii. I love living here and like all of the cool things about it. It's just socially, I would say, harder, or not hard. Yeah, yeah, I guess harder, because it's like I have a couple of friends my age that I hang out with, and then I have a good amount of friends that are older than me that I hang out with. But the thing is, it's like I want to be surrounded. I like to be surrounded by a lot of people my age and just be in like big social settings with new people, especially just meeting new people. And that doesn't feel like it happens all that often, considering I live in a town in Hawaii where there's what, 6,000 people, like a few people per square mile. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, I'm hoping to do that maybe in September or something. That would be pretty sweet. But like I said, it's like, how do you get from not making money to making money in a direct, like, at least I know how I get from not making money to making money. There's plenty of ways that I can make money short term, but long term, sustainable, and interesting is like the thing that I'm wanting to go for. So yeah, again, it's just like I gotta do this surgery, and then I will be able to, with a clear mind and clear throat of no more sore throats, be able to get on the grind. I'm ready to do that. I am. Yeah. Also, just like on another note, as far as the social thing, is like meeting specifically women, like the I guess the dating world is the other thing. Is like, I'm 24. I would love to have a girlfriend, to be in a relationship, and that's something that is doesn't just like happen randomly. Like if you're in college, you're in a big school, or you're at some big job, whatever, you're in a city, like you're meeting people all the time, and I think the odds of that are much higher, or at least that's my previous experience. It's like you have many different situations in which you could meet someone, because it's like often, at least for me, things have happened out of circumstance. But to actually just seek somebody like 6,000 people. How many people are my age that are my type that I would be interested in? Not too many. And of course, there's more around the island. But like, what am I gonna date somebody that lives an hour away from me? I don't really know about that. Or more, you know. So being in a place like Bend, I think, would be cool for those reasons too, if you know what I mean. There are perks of living in a town with more people. Some pretty cool people too. So yeah, I don't know what the future holds, besides the things that I've talked about potentially happening. But now I just gotta live and exist, and we'll eventually find out what it is that is going to happen. Um, I'm kind of just stalling until 11 minutes and 11 seconds, so I gotta time this right. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and this was an interesting stream of consciousness today. I do think. So yeah.